The big red X chisel.
Oh, I didn't put the other one in. I did put the other one.
Oh, come on, we're running out of time. Where are you up to?
Oh, damn it. So you guys, I was prepared and then it was Mrs. fault.
What?
What? Oh, damn it. Have you opened all of them?
Right click. And you go.
Cool.
And then you just press the arrow buttons.
Yeah, I'll start with this one. So initially I started off with the idea of the Malaysian Airlines, how the plane was misplaced. So I started off with the comments, all the information gathered, and just research, a lot of research. So what happened, comments and people's opinions, and I find opinions really important. So from there I changed and went to a way of displaying information. So when I thought about displaying information, I thought of different kind of infographics. And from infographics, I went in different kind of ways how it's explained and different kind of aspects of it. And from there, it came down to about terms of sound waves. Like I find sound waves really interesting because it has voices, kind of opinions of people. And then I was talking to Stefan before, and he told me about this idea of Glias. I can't remember the name at the moment. But yeah, he did sculpture of what he called a sound wave sculpture that had Obama's speech in it. So I find it really interesting, kind of a different way of expressing voices, but in a different kind of form using sculpture. So I thought I might use that in a way. So initially I thought of this idea of having sound waves and what you could, like, the words coming up, and oh, it's another way of displaying it. And then, like with this, the QR code, you just download the app I'm going to make with Unity, and you can actually use it. And from there, I was talking to another lecturer, and then the lecturer gave me another idea, which was really interesting. And like, I started working with this. I started working with different ways of doing it. So I made these kind of like little cutouts and tried to work around it and see if it works. I used a Rasma, and Rasma wasn't really doing it for me because it had like Stefan said before, you can see the outline, the black outline, and different kind of like, it's not visually appealing. And as I'm really into my design and stuff, and I don't like it when it doesn't look nice. So I started doing like little concepts of what I can do, and then I made a little board of it, and I kind of like demonstrated how it's gonna look, and I kind of didn't like it. So I was like, oh, okay, let me see, there's another way of using it. So I talked to another lecturer about it, and I think it was G. G told me another idea of display and this kind of form. So instead of having all of them in one board, have each sound wave in an individual board. Also, the sound waves weren't really like, they were real rough and didn't really look real appealing. And initially when I started off, I thought about pixels. So I went back to pixels again and decided on using the sound wave as pixels. Then what you could just waves, how it's meant to be. So I got that, and I decided on having pretty much that and maybe an A3 size, and just having a sound wave cut out. So in probably using this board, I don't know what the board called, but it's aluminium on the outside and rubber on the inside. So I'm going to get it cut out in the sound wave form. And using your device, you can actually read it, but then there's another twist to it, another experience to it, which I'm not going to tell you right now. And that's what's going to happen. Pretty much it's displayed like this. Probably triggers a sound or video. That's the little thing. Okay, what am I reading? And it's pretty much just creating another experience in a new dimension, taking missing thoughts into another way of showing it.
True.
So, are you still still staying with the theme of, so what is the main message or the main thing that I'm grasping from this as an audience as I come to it? What's the main thing I'm going to get? Stepping back from all the technical bits, all of that. What is the main thing that, the message that I'm going to get, or the main thing you want to get across or have us experience? Or
The experience would be people's opinions and comments being misplaced and nobody giving attention to it. That's what's going to be shown. With like the sound waves, you actually, when you look at it, and I want to make it real simple, so the layout's pretty much that. That's the whole layout. Maybe the boards are up and down, might change, but the layout's exactly like that. The idea is to get the audience thinking about what it is, not like just looking at it, just looking at this. You know, I could just have like everything displayed like this. You'd be like, okay, yeah, this is what, like, this has this and this and this. But if you look at something that has nothing on it and just like lines, you're like, what is it? Like, you'll engage into it, and it will give you another way of thinking about it. Because when I go to art galleries, when I go to art galleries, I look at stuff, and if it's something displayed with, like, if it's abstract, I look at it more than something that's, something that's actually like a pictorial drawing.
the really interesting thing about what you've done, whether it's intended or not, is that you've come up with a way of representing the experience of how people at this point in time know what they know about that flight, which is the only thing we've got is a radar trace, and everything is made up from that. So the only thing, they've had to hunt in the South Indian Sea, they're hunting in North Indian Sea, they're hunting in the only thing they're going on are these snippets of information, and usually echoes from radar traces and various other tiny bits of fragments. So the interesting thing is that what you do in the exhibition